Welcome back to the show. Today, I am so excited to have one of my Omni VIP members and friends, Megan Anderson. And Megan Anderson is a life coach, and I want to let her take the floor, the virtual floor, and tell a little bit about herself and how she got into doing what she does right now. Megan, welcome, and thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Hi, thank you for having me, Chrissy. So I'm Megan. I live in central Wisconsin. Since I was little, I knew I wanted to be a nurse. So helping people was always a part of the plan. I'm an oncology nurse. I navigate. I am certified in nurse navigation for my oncology patients. I'm a wife and a mother to 2 kids. My husband is a police officer, so we are busy and he's always on the go. And he's a canine officer, so super busy that way. I love the outdoors, and I think just after COVID and the pandemic, I started looking at my life a little bit more, and that's when living the Mac life came up.
So what is living the Mac life? Let's
living
my audience about this and what this is.
Yeah, so living the Mac life, it took off more so actually when my dad passed away in November. Mac is his initials, and Mac also stands for living a manageable, attainable, and chill life. So working on getting people living that life that they want to live in a structure that works for them.
So why would somebody need to live the Mac life?
They're hustling and bustling every day. Their schedules don't work for them. They're living a messy and chaotic life. So right. Always doing that Mac. So messy and chaotic. Life is always going to be some part of messy and chaotic, but how can we make that manageable and attainable so you can have a chill life, you can live the life you want to live, and make sure that you're also enjoying your kids, your family, your hobbies, because we get so caught up in the day-to-day taking care of others before we would take care of ourselves. So I focus a lot on taking care of yourself to make sure you're able to take care of others. So making sure your cup is full before you pour too much into someone else when yours is empty.
Absolutely. And one of the things that you said in your bio that you filled out was you help them really beat that burnout. Like, what are you seeing? What are most people getting burnout from?
I think they're getting burnt out mentally from just every day to day, the thinking maybe they're not good enough, or doing everybody wanting help, and they're there for them, but not remembering themselves. A lot of people, especially during the pandemic, they were working short-staffed, and they haven't gone back to that normal of, this is not normal to always live the hustle and bustle life. So making sure they get back to their new normal of being able to manage life now.
Absolutely. And as a nurse, right, you've probably seen overwhelm and burnout a lot more than most people, especially during the pandemic, because I feel like that's all nurses were doing. We're overworked, and so many were quitting, and the short staff, and like you said, like you've seen all of that firsthand and what it can do to families and your work life and all of those things that are encompassed that we have to deal with.
Yeah, it's not just healthcare, it's everybody is working short and they're doing more. You have so many women that are working full time, and their moms and their husbands work, and it's the house, taking care of the house. So it's learning how to manage the house, work, kids, and still enjoying life, because man, we deserve it. And there's not, even people that don't have kids, they're still working full time. They may have family to take care of, pets. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of responsibility people take on, and I don't think they realize how much of it can weigh them down emotionally, physically as well.
And I think too, as someone who is a recovering workaholic, who literally at my desk, probably during the pandemic, way more than normal, because my mind always went to the, oh, as long as I'm taking action and moving, I won't think about what's going on around me. And so during the pandemic, I was constant, like I could feel just like every day my shoulders like getting heavier because I'm sitting at my computer, just working so much more, right? Like throwing myself and immersing myself into my job even more. And it's almost like you're not even problem aware of it until you get away from it. And then you look back and like, dang, it feels nice to have some time to myself. It feels nice not to be overwhelmed. It feels nice to have self-care and to take care of yourself. But in it, I think sometimes we just feel like that's the way life is. And how do we get people to understand that there's something better when sometimes they can't even see, they just think this is the way life is and they've done it for so long, they don't know anything different.
Exactly. I mean, mine was a life event that really changed you had the pandemic and then losing my dad. It took losing him to realize that I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't there for my family as much as I wanted to. I did a lot of growing for myself and taking care of myself emotionally and physically. And I found a way for me, and I want to be able to help others feel better about themselves and get through that messy and chaotic phase. Life is going to be that way at some point, but it doesn't have to be that way all the time. So I don't want anybody to have to hit a roadblock or have an event in their life and then realize that they needed to take care of things. Like, let's get things taken care of now before it gets too bad, because not everyone's going to respond in the same way when an event like that can happen.
I think too, I know I talk about this a lot in my programs, like what's the legacy you want to leave behind? Do you, any of my listeners, do you really want to leave behind the legacy? Well, she worked a lot, right? I mean, that's not the legacy that we want to leave. And like Megan was saying, like really putting that oxygen mask on first, but when we feel good, like we're better at everything we do, even a business owner. And this took me so long to focus and believe, because I was just like head down. I don't have 30 minutes to work out. I'd rather be making money. And this is like, that was that whole hustle mentality that I had. But when now I look at it, I'm like, man, I'm a better teacher. I'm a better leader. I am a better mom. I'm a better wife. I'm a better fur mom, right? I'm better at all those things because I can actually breathe. And I notice on days that are jam-packed and I have no time to breathe, that's when I feel that anxiety coming back up and remembering what it was like to be those 12, 14, 15-hour days that I used to work that were so crazy. So what would you tell my audience, like when someone goes through this manageable, attainable, and chill life, like what kind of transformations do they see? What things do they discover about themselves when they go from overwhelmed and burnout to this Mac life?
So they're going to feel, so before you're feeling down, you're talking about the tension in the neck. You're feeling the weight on your shoulders. When we're done, want them to feel less stress. I mean, everybody's going to have stress, less stress, have the energy to be there and show up. Feel accomplished that you are doing something that works for you, because that's what I want. It's not a one size fits all type deal. I want to work with them to know, I mean, it's your schedule, it's your life. So how can we structure life so it fits you, so you can have the energy to do what you want and be there? Because I mean, you come home at the end of the day and it's like, oh, now what do I cook? Oh, I got to entertain the kids. No, I get to entertain the kids, and I get to put a nutritious meal in my stomach and feel good about it and not feel overwhelmed about all those decisions. So it's really feeling the weight off their shoulders and being able to enjoy the life that they want to live.
So how do people work with you? Like, do you do like one-on-one coaching, or is it like a group program, or what does that look like?
So it is one-on-one. It's a 2-month program. Right now, still working out like what works best for everybody. Mm-hmm. So for the first 2 months, we get into the nitty-gritty of how can I help you? What do we need to work on? We're going to work on some priorities. within those first few months, we'll do some phone calls, daily accountability, so that we know that you're reaching those goals. So it is one-on-one for the first 2 months. And then after that, they can have monthly follow-ups, still have the accountability, and then to create a community with everybody, because I know one thing, being in inner circles and different groups is a positive group to be with. If other people want to change their lives,
Yeah.
and you're with them, you're going to feel that and you're going to want to do that too. So the community of just being able to be with a lot of other people that want to change their lives.
I love that. I love that so, so much. So obviously, are you still a nurse actively?
I am. I
Okay.
still work full-time as a nurse. Yes.
So you also know what overwhelm can feel like and where you can put yourself in that situation. So I have a lot of people that also are working 9 to 5s and trying to build a side hustle. So what are your best tips for them to avoid overwhelm when they're trying to do it all and raise a family and be a spouse and all of those things?
Yeah. Number one is don't compare yourself to what everybody else is doing. I do work the 9 to 5, and I do have a husband that is gone often. So I set aside time for me to do my business, and it can vary. It doesn't have to be the same day every day. It doesn't always have to be morning or night. You just have to find time that works for you, because if it's something that you're passionate about, you're going to want to do it, and it's going to light you up to be able to keep doing it. So just really working on setting a time and not comparing yourself, because I'm not going to be able to get everything done in the 3 hours after I get home or the kids are in bed, compared to someone that may have more time during the day.
Right.
So yes, we all have 24 hours, but they may not be the same type of 24 hours to keep working on what we want to get done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Such good tips. Okay. So there is a question that I ask everybody that comes on my show, and I don't know if you've heard me ask this yet, but the question is, what is visibility done for you and your business?
Oh man, visibility. So I don't always go on video, and it's really increased my confidence and how I see myself. I have always struggled after kids with feeling confident in myself, in my body, and the way I present myself. So it has really helped me feel good, no matter how my skin may look, that I am confident, I am proud of who I am and what I'm doing. If I'm saying something, I'm passionate about it, and it means something. So people want to hear what I'm talking about. And that's a mental block too. Don't let your little demons tell you that no one wants to hear about it, because they do. There's someone out there that wants to hear what you have to say. They truly care. And maybe it's not every post they think about is going to help them, but one post may be like, yeah, I really need to focus on that. That was such good advice.
I love that.
So
good.
Confidence, so much more confidence.
Yes. Yes. And I'm sure with the Mac life, like when you actually have time, you actually feel better about yourself. So you have more confidence too.
Definitely. I'm getting to do the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
And that just makes life more enjoyable. So you stop caring about what other people think, because what are my kids happy? My family healthy? Are my friends there for me? And am I able to be there in a healthy relationship for them as well?
Love it. I love it. I love it. So you have an upcoming workshop. So depending on when you listen to this podcast episode, I'm sure Megan's going to have plenty of others if you're listening to this later down the road. But, and she's also, we're going to have a couple things that you can connect with her with in the show notes. So make sure you check those out. But also, how can people connect with you? And do you want to talk a little bit about the workshop you have upcoming?
Yeah, so my workshop is a three-day free virtual event. It'll just be posting videos of how we can help diet. So it's kind of like the first part of the program that we'll be doing that we're going to work on together. So figuring out what's bothering you. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you investing in your mental health? And because when you get that locked and keyed, you can do so much with your time, so much more in general, because you're mentally able to show up. So working on that, and then working on schedules as well, and see what we can do to help you out there.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So make sure you check out the show notes so you can connect with Megan to find out when that workshop or her next workshop is going to be. And then is there anything else that you would love to leave my audience with before we go?
Yeah, just don't wait for the messy and chaotic to get so far out of hand that you're struggling and you're really climbing to get out of that hole, because when you're there, it is a deep struggle, and there are people that want to help you. If it's not me that I get to help you with, it's someone wants to help you. So really ask for help. And it is not something to look down upon, because everybody needs some help. So just make sure that you're taking care of yourself and getting things figured out for you.
I love this. Make sure you have this episode on repeat, and remember that you get to take care of yourself. You are important. You are a better version of yourself in every aspect when you take care of yourself, when you get rid of that overwhelm and that burnout. So thank you again, Megan, for being on the show today. Make sure you share this episode and give Megan some love. And what are your platforms, your handles on platforms?
I am at livingthemaclife.com. And I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and you might find some silly videos on TikTok here and there.
Yay, that makes my heart happy. Okay, we'll have it all in the show notes, so make sure you connect with her. And thank you again for listening to today's episode. Bye.
Thank you.